Hello there, this is Lira Kay, and we are doing exclusive interviews with the most amazing creative geniuses who are ready to talk about their art, their genius, and their success. So today I want to introduce Arina to you. She is, I've known Arina for over 20 years now, and had been following her art, following her path, because this is what we're going to talk about today: is what does it take for an artist to create, to be successful, and actually not to lose the sight of their own soul. So I prepared some questions here, and this interview is really interesting because, of course, Arina is in London right now, and I'm here in California, in San Francisco. So we're doing it digitally, and this is a great opportunity for us to reconnect again as friends also, and start really sharing those really quite important insights from an artist to the audience, of course, who is here to admire and who is here to learn the wisdom that artists actually are meant to bring into this world. So I want to start with the first question. So Arina, what is art for you? I'm giving you Arina.
Well, art takes such a big part of my life that I would say it is my life. Art is something I'm breathing with. It is vital and absolutely essential for me. I work in my studio every day, and I can't imagine myself being outside of this creative field. If I don't work for a while, I start physically feel worse. My mood is going down, and a few hours in front of my work, face to face, to canvas, make me a happier and a complete person. Art gave me hope, inspiration and energy to overcome all the hard times in my life, all the suppressing life experiences, and literally bring my life back. I've been on a very long journey to reach the point where I am now, with this opportunity to be an artist and do what I love most in my life. And I do have special relationship with my paintings and with art in general, because I think art gave me this feeling that nothing actually is unachievable and impossible in this life. Nothing is too late. And if you're meant to be an artist, you become one anyway, later or earlier. And of course, if it's great if you have an opportunity to be a professional, to become a professional artist at the early stage of your life, but sometimes time works for you. And I think that all my life experiences, as a whole package, not only happy, precious moments, but all the downs, they recast, molded and framed me into a person who I am now, into an artist called Arina. And now I've got this possibility and opportunity to compose all of these life experiences into kind of wisdom and meaning to fulfill my works. So yes, I do have special relationship with art, and art is vital part of my life.
What is your inspiration, Arina? What fascinates you? What inspires you?
The endless source of inspiration for me are the masterpieces of the old Renaissance masters, alongside with their Renaissance humanist philosophy. The list is endless. Leonardo da Vinci, Vermeer, Raphael, Rembrandt, really just endless list. Giotto, Ghirlandaio, Perugino, Del Sarto, etc., etc. Also, what inspires and fascinates me are humans' emotions and feelings. And I wonder whether these feelings and emotions have changed through the centuries, if changed at all, and am I, the artist from the 21st century, is still able to feel what these people depicted on the old masters' paintings have been through? What did they feel? What it is behind these transient smiles on their faces, or behind the fleeting impression of their eyes? It is truly fascinating. But I think the biggest inspiration for me is this universe we are living in, this very reality we seem to be living in, because this reality consists of questions and mirages, and nothing to be certain or definite, and finding the answers fascinates me, and this is something that gives me inspiration to continue my work. And I think the earth itself is the biggest miracle of this miraculous reality. And I think all the artists are ambassadors of the art, and the main purpose of art is to keep this world in balance and harmony, and awareness of that fascinates and inspires me.
Arina, a few times you mentioned about the purpose of art. Can you tell me what purpose of art is for you?
Thank you for the interesting question. For me, the painting process is a, I would say, almost magical ritual, almost alchemy, I would say. And as alchemists were trying to find their philosopher's stone, I'm trying in my work to find a litmus paper of inner content, a quintessence of feelings and emotions, and the way to express a pure emotions essence on a canvas. I believe that emotions and feelings didn't change over the centuries and over time, and they do not depend on any boundaries and borders like religions, mentalities, races, ethnical characteristics, etc., etc. Emotions and feelings can be, in my point of view, considered as universal language, that can be adopted and understood by everybody in the world, by any human beings. And for me it is very inspiring to find kind of universal subject that can be related to any human beings. Um, for me, human souls reflect these emotions, and I see human souls as fragile light, like fragile light of fireflies in the dark. It is so easy to break this light, and if you are able as an artist to transfer this light onto your paintings, maybe you're saving this light, maybe you're keeping this light in the world, and maybe you are increasing this light in the world. And for me this is very inspiring, and I believe this is what is the purpose of my work, and I do enjoy doing it.
So, of course, now this is a very interesting part for me personally. Can you tell me where your ideas are coming from? What is your creative process? How do you prepare? How do you develop ideas?
Uh, Thank you. It's a very interesting question, um, because it could sound a bit weird probably, or at least strange, but lots of my ideas come from books. I love reading books, and these are not necessarily the art books, which I love browsing as well, but just any interesting books. I love reading, and I love reading old books in particular, and I have quite a lot of books in my library, I would say my cherished and adorable library. And also I have lots of sketchbooks and notebooks where I write almost every day something, some observations, any information that attracted my attention and inspired me. Before I do some sketches or drawings in my books, I often browse them back, and sometimes it's interesting that just single word or sentence in a book or in my notebooks can bring a new idea, and which starts developing in your head. And this is a fascinating feeling when literally something starts like kind of itching in your head and demanding your awareness of that and demanding to be materialized. And from the very moment it starts, I know for sure that this new idea won't leave me in peace until I materialize it and see it completed on a canvas. And it's unpredictable when and why the idea comes, but it will be swirling in your head until you materialize and complete it in a material work on a canvas until you see it on a canvas. I know that when I complete the idea, in a while it all starts again.
If I ask you to be your own art critic, how would you describe your style, technique? What would art critics say about your work?
In my works I use old masters of Renaissance technique called sfumato, which derived from Italian word sfumare and means to tone down or to smoke down. Within this old painting technique, the colors and tones layer down gradually one above another, layer by layer, without any harsh or sharp outlines and edges. And this technique allows the lights and the shadows layer in a way as if they define three-dimensional objects. And I work in a subtle manner, and if you look closely to my works, on my paintings you won't see any perceptible sharp or harsh outlines and edges, and sfumato gives to the paintings a rather softer appearance. Coming back to style, I would say that my style can be called hyper-surrealism, because I combine and involve both hyperrealism and surrealism. I paint realistic images, but combine them with quite a surreal color palette and composition, as the images in my paintings are positioned in the middle of nowhere, without any given time or place or any other particular characteristics. Anything can be imagined on the background of my images, any centuries, any countries, real or surreal, any color of skin, eye, hair or no hair at all. And I believe by this I invite all the viewers looking at my works to turn on their own imagination, and I involve them to creative process, and I would like all the viewers looking at my works to become emotionally involved with my works. And I believe that this emotional involvement is the purpose of art and quintessence of any creative process. As you requested to be my own art critic, I would certainly mention the main personage of my works, the red scarf. Even though the red scarf is not really the main thing in my point of view, because sometimes it is just red fabric or red background. Still, this red scarf seems to be a signature of my works, and relates to my artistic name, first of all or before of all. But in fact, the main thing is actually the red color itself, and this red color plays a huge role in my works.
Color red seems to be very significant for you. What's in it? It's fascinating how you use red, so can you tell us if this is something personal?
The color red is contradictive and multi-symbolical one. In different cultures, it concentrates diverse and sometimes quite opposite meanings, and undoubtedly there is a very powerful energy pulsing in the red, and there is some kind of mysterious attraction in the red for human's eyes. Sometimes it means passion and love, sometimes it means something that is demanding attention and can be dangerous. And in Zen Buddhism, for example, the color red has chakra muladhara that corresponds to the vital energy of human's body and the vitality of blood itself. We all remember and associate, I would say, the red color with uncompromising red pigment of Anish Kapoor or poppy red lipstick of Coco Chanel and Tamara de Limpitska, and even with burned alive red-haired witches in the Middle Ages. And another thing that very often connotate with red color is all sorts of revolutions. To begin with, the Lacroix liberty leading the people red flags of all revolutions, etc., etc. And I think in this context, the red color can be considered as a symbol of liberation and overcoming some psychological and even physical boundaries and barriers. And for me, the main thing that is in red is germinated from my very childhood. From my very childhood, the color red has special meaning for me. In Russian language, the word red often means beautiful, particularly in folks' fairy tales. And for example, the red square just means beautiful square. And one of the world famous or well-known Russian writers, Fyodor Dostoevsky, said that beauty will save the world. And perhaps I just accumulated this my perception of the red is beautiful into a symbol of saving the world in my works. Red color often means passion and love, and I believe that art objects that have been created with love and passion can change somebody's perception of the reality, the way of thinking, and by this to transform reality and change the reality. And I think that art is this powerful tool to bring the beauty to the world, to save it, and the more beautiful and positive artworks created today, the better will be the world to live in tomorrow.
Now, this is a question, of course, that really is fascinating for a lot of creative people. We talked a lot about creativity in that specific creative process. Can you tell me about energy of the creative process?
Well, it is all about energy and its vibrations. The universe consists of these vibrations, and it goes throughout all the human beings and through everything and everyone in the entire world. I would say we are all connected within this energy, and of course this energy influences us, just influence everyone, and creative process generate a very strong and powerful energy that equally supports our creative process and our creator. I would say it is a mutual process. The more you get involved into creative process, the more powerful energy you get back. I would say creator and its creation equally generate each other. It is flowing energy between them. It is interacting, and I'm sure all the artists know what I'm talking about, because this energy certainly helps to produce new work. And any energy that have been produced during the creative process inevitably imprinted into your artworks, and nothing disappears from this world in terms of any energy. And all this energy stay in the world and around you and just right behind the works. And it is very important what exactly you produced in your works, what kind of energy. And we are all connected in energetical level, and aware we of that or not, we are all connected, and through this we constantly changing the reality within our thoughts and actions. And imagine if the thoughts are material, how material and powerful the images you produce are. And to be an artist, it is a privilege and a huge honor, but also it is a huge responsibility for what you bring in and contribute to the world within your creativity, within your artworks. And I believe that it is a purpose of art to keep this world and balance and harmony. And it is very inspiring, and it is inspiring and fulfilling, I would say.
Now, can you tell me about the working process? Is it hard? Is it easy to actually create those amazing paintings that we see? Is there anything special about your particular process?
Well, I wouldn't say it is an easy process, because it takes me about 180 to 200 hours to complete one work, and sometimes 5 and 6 hours in a studio can cause some shoulders or neck or even wrist strain, but it doesn't matter. I love working. I love everything about working process, including the smell of the oil paints and even turpentines, which somebody hates, but I do love it because it is for me the part of the creative process. And I love start new work. I love this feeling of the blank canvas which I touch with my hand and feel with my fingers this surface, and I know that in a time there will be new creation. And the most interesting moment of the creative and working process is closer to the end, to the completion of the work. As I said, I paint my work for about 200 hours, and it is about 2 months, and I know every inch of the painting, and I touch it with hundreds and even probably thousands of brush strokes, and I know all the surface, everything, every single line of that. And I watch the image growing, developing, and materializing, I would say. And at some magic, I would say, moment, I suddenly realized that the painting is watching me back as if it is looking at me. And I know this mesmerizing moment is inevitably coming, but always it comes at an unexpected moment, and gives me, I would say, goosebumps, or even shiver run down my spine. And this moment means that the painting is finished, as if the painting just telling me that, Arina, you've done your work, thank you, but don't touch me anymore because I'm ready. And this moment, I wait for this moment from the very beginning, and I look forward for it, because for me it is a happiness to see the new work completed, finished, and ready to start its independent journey in the world.
What do you feel and how do you feel about your work? Do you feel yourself to be part of a painting? or part of a process? How important is painting for you?
I entirely enjoy the working process, and when I paint, I certainly feel a special connection with something which is beyond of our comprehension. The universe, higher self, inspiration, intuition, insight. I guess if we knew what it is exactly behind the inspiration and creative process, the world would be different. Sometimes I feel as if my paintings have already been created and exist somewhere in a different level of the reality, in a kind of a timeless collector or archive that keeps all the entire art from the past and the future, and I just conduct them, my paintings, from there throughout my brushes and transfer them onto a canvas, and by this materialize them in this reality. I love working, as I already said, and when I work I feel peaceful, I feel blessed, I feel home, I feel I belong here, and it is a happy feeling.
Do you have any artistic ambition? What's in the future for you?
If to be honest, I don't really like the word ambitions. I prefer the words aspirations and aims, and I do have some aspirations and aims. I would like to be fortunate enough one day to organize an international art contest that proclaims the cult of beauty and humanity, and discover talented works of artists who proclaim this cult of beauty within their works. And particularly I would love to connect with all the women artists who are in their 40 plus and up to unlimited, and give them the opportunity to show their talents and creativity to the world. And I can say where this idea came from. Quite a while ago I was reading an article by a very well-known British art critic, Brian Sewell, who stated in his article that only men are capable of aesthetic greatness. And I thought to myself that it is not really even a subject of discussion for me whether women are capable of aesthetic greatness, because I think it's such an appropriate statement. But the problem is that women are also capable to sacrifice their talents to maternity, for example, or to their family needs, and therefore I personally know many women artists who gave up on the arts, and or just started their careers much later than their fellow men artists, if started at all, as I said. And I think it is bitter and sad, because I know many stunningly skillful and talented women who are struggling with the choice to give up on the arts, or under life circumstances, or still follow their talent and dream and develop their creativity no matter what. And I would love that all the women artists in the age of 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, up to unlimited, I would love them to feel that the art world is waiting for them, needs them, and welcomes them. That could be pronounced as my aim, I suppose. I would love to do this.
Thank you so much, Arina. That was amazing. I am so happy that we got to talk, and of course now our audience get to really know the insights into the artist's life, because what you shared with us wasn't just about art, of course, as we know. And I am so grateful for you to be so vulnerable and to be so open and share those very, very special discoveries that, of course, most people would never know unless we would have this interview and actually ask you directly. Thank you so much for being here. I'm wishing you a lot of wonderful new opportunities and new work. Of course, we are waiting to see your amazing new work, and sending you a lot of love from here, from California. Thank you, Arina. Bye-bye.